Rachel Turner sat back in her chair and sighed, the glow from her laptop casting long shadows across her sparsely decorated apartment. It had been another long day of remote work, her eyes tired from hours of staring at spreadsheets and emails. The soft hum of the city evening crept through her open window, reminding her that the world outside continued to spin, regardless of her struggles within these four walls. Rachel had been home for nearly 2 years now, but the transition from active duty in Afghanistan to civilian life had been anything but smooth. Her time overseas had left her with not just mental scars, but physical ones too. A roadside bomb had changed her life forever, leaving her with deep scars that ran both skin deep and to the bone. These weren't just reminders of her sacrifice and service. They were barriers to feeling normal in a world that seemed to have moved on without her. Her therapist had suggested reconstructive surgery as a way to address some of the physical remnants of her injuries, which contributed heavily to her post-traumatic stress disorder. Feeling somewhat hopeful, she had contacted her insurance company, HealthGuard, only to be met with responses that oscillated between cold indifference and bureaucratic red tape. The latest email had confirmed her worst fears. HealthGuard denied her claim, categorizing the surgery as cosmetic rather than functional. The denial felt like a slap in the face. How could they label something so essential to her mental recovery as merely cosmetic? Rachel's jaw set firmly as she read the email again, the words blurring slightly as anger and frustration welled up inside her. Determined not to let this setback defeat her, Rachel reached out to her doctor, Dr. Lawrence, who had been advocating on her behalf from the beginning. Dr. Lawrence was appalled, but not surprised by the insurance company's decision, and promised to help Rachel appeal. Together, they compiled medical statements, psychological evaluations, and evidence of the surgery's necessity, all of which painted a clear picture of the benefits these procedures would provide beyond mere aesthetics. As weeks turned into months, each appeal met the same fate, denial after denial, as HealthGuard stood firm on their initial assessment. Feeling increasingly desperate, Rachel took her story to a local journalist, hoping that a bit of media pressure might change her fortunes. The article hit the newsstands on a chilly Tuesday morning, detailing not only Rachel's personal battle, but also the broader issues many veterans faced when seeking care for service-related injuries. The public response was immediate and overwhelming. Veterans across the country resonated with her story, seeing parts of their own struggles in her words. Social media became abuzz with discussions on the topic, and hashtags like #StandWithRachel and #VeteransHealthRights began to trend. The public outcry led to protests, both virtual and in front of HealthGuard offices, demanding that the company reevaluate its policies regarding veterans. Amidst this whirlwind of advocacy and media attention, HealthGuard was forced to respond. The company issued a statement expressing their commitment to veterans and promised to review Rachel's case along with their policy on surgeries deemed cosmetic. The pressure continued to mount until, finally, a new letter arrived at Rachel's door. This time, the message was different. Her surgery was approved, and not just that, but HealthGuard announced changes to their policy to include more comprehensive coverage for veterans dealing with similar issues. The surgery was a success. Though the physical healing took time, Rachel felt an immediate lifting of her spirits, a lightness she hadn't felt in years. Her story had not only changed her life, but had sparked a significant shift in how one insurance giant dealt with veterans' health issues. She became a symbol of what could be accomplished when voices joined together to challenge injustice. Rachel's experience had shown her the power of vulnerability and advocacy. She continued to work with veteran groups, pushing for broader changes in healthcare rights for veterans. While her journey had started with a struggle for her own health, it had blossomed into a lifelong commitment to ensuring no other veteran would have to fight the same battles she did. As Rachel looked out her window at the bustling street below, she realized that the world hadn't moved on without her. She was moving forward with it, a new path forged from her resilience and the collective strength of many. She smiled, a genuine expression of peace that had eluded her for too long, ready to face whatever challenges might come next with a renewed sense of purpose and hope.